Welcome to OCE Digest, your number one stop shop for quality content. Here with me, I have.
Yes, my name is Emmanuel. Don't mind me, I was just busy trying to let you know that you must subscribe. Oh. Subscribe to the channel, my brothers and sisters.
And
That's it.
with me,
I am Grace Daniel.
and I am Mojisola Iyaremi Esther.
Yeah.
And our episode for this program is How Not to Be Saida Boj.
Yes. Don't be Saida
Wait,
Boj.
isn't that the lady that is going online saying that you ask her out in the morning and then in the evening she's already below you?
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Like the moment she steps into a relationship, she's automatically.
ATM machine, a walking ATM machine, that's what she is.
Okay, so the question is, most ladies are actually out there advising the younger generation
Yeah.
that the amount of money a man spends on you determine how much he loves you. What do you think about that?
So for me, I feel we live in a generation where objectification of women has become a thing. And women are now being packaged as products. When you watch music videos, you see how women have sexualized themselves in the media, and it has become a big business. People these days make music or make movies that don't have meaning, don't convey any social values, but they package it with the women attributes, which is the sexualization of women, and you see it selling. And you see naturally men and women are wired by God in a way that when a man needs a woman, there is natural thing that God has put in a man that can attract a woman, and there is a natural thing in a woman that attracts a man. So companies and businesses have somehow found ways to objectify these women and use this natural instinct and weaponize it into a product. So the whole discussions in the social media and in the media space around how men must pay for a product and the product is actually women, it's more of a demeaning conversation, for which I even feel any woman who is engaging in such discourse is more or less selling herself short. So that's how I see it.
That's a great point, actually. What do you have to say, Miss Grace?
I think the thing is, one thing with we ladies is we tend to be moved by what we hear. And by the time you're moved by what you hear, you start fantasizing about things that are not there. And you've sold yourself out in the way that you become cheap. Because once a man sees you, okay, he knows if he's to wife you or if he's to side chick you or if it's just a bang and go. Do you understand? So depending on the way you carry yourself, do you understand? So if you carry yourself in a very well-mannered way, you will be addressed well-manneredly. But if you portray yourself as something that is easy grab and go, you'll be treated as grab and go. So I think that's my take on that.
So, do you think a man's time is actually worth more than the money?
Yeah. Because for me, if I am to be in a relationship with you, I might not necessarily ask you for money, but I need you to spend quality time with me, because quality time is where the bonding takes place. Quality time is where the communication, where the dreams are being built, where the goals are being set. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, what is the advice for these young Gen Zs in quotes?
Yeah.
What would be the advice? Like, do you think they need to get closer to their parents, maybe the father figure, their brothers, and
The whole advent of this single parenting has somewhat had a very huge and destructive effect on the society. I
Yeah.
feel that most ladies now don't even understand what a man is, let alone know how to treat a man, because for them, their closest example of what a father is what they could deduct from the Bible from their own selfish point of view. So to them, a man is a provider, and so every woman he asks right now to give you a picture of what a man is just provide, 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 provide. But you also forget that there is a protection clause also in the same Bible that tells you that a man will provide and protect you, shelter you, guide you. The guidance side of it is also what is lacking a whole lot. So I feel it is good that you asked a man this question, because sincerely, the definition in the media space is more of demonizing a man than praising a man for truly what men are.
yeah.
Because men are the sacrificial lamb these days, and yeah, truly, because the way marriages are constructed these days, men are just the ones who put their head on the stake so that it can be chopped off. You do everything and you are still least appreciated. And being a man these days, man, if I have my way, I'd rather be a woman. Being a man is hard these days.
Okay, even I myself, if I come to the next road, I'll come as a woman again.
I tell you.
Yeah. So, Miss Grace, do you think a man taking you to an expensive outing and showering you with flowers and all the likes of it is actually his way of showing you that he loves you?
Now, the thing is, one thing we need to know is we need to know the love languages. Now, when we know our love language, we know how to deal with our partners, okay? So if your partner's love language is giving of gifts, okay, it might be another person's, it might not be another person's love language. For me, my love language is not receiving or giving gifts. Do you understand? Because I believe that even when you give me gifts or you shower me with all those things, if you don't love me, you don't love me. Do you understand? So I think I would prefer the act of service. To understand, you support my dreams, you support my goals, and I know that yes, you really mean what you're saying to me, than showering me with gifts. Whereas, if it is to be like that, then that means no man is meant to cheat. Because for him to say he loves his wife and still have a side chick outside, that he will spoil with gifts, but will never divorce his wife. So, depending on our love language.
This is the thing. I want to see it from a controversial point of view. So this is how I see it. Men are providers. So when a man loves you, he provides for you. Yeah. Now, the problem is not the act of providing or the act of giving. It is the sense of entitlement that is the problem.
Okay.
So it's like saying you are sick and you're taken to the hospital and you have had this disease for a very long time and you're supposed to have given yourself some preventive, medication, and you refuse not to. And then when the thing got to a critical stage, you now rush down to the hospital so that the doctor can perform miracle. You're already dead on your way to the hospital. So I feel the sense of entitlement that this generation, particularly the Gen Z's generation, as to what the expectation of love, man, marriage, relationship is actually destructive. So I'll give you a vivid example of how I see it. Relationship is not meant to be something that must lead to marriage. It is not must. Because there are relationships you go into and it is meant to teach you a lesson. There are relationships you go into, you build friendship. There are relationships you go into, you build maturity. And there is one that comes and it comes for marriage. Now, because of the destination, they forgo the experience. Life is not a destination, it's a journey. It's a potpourri of experiences. So it's sad these days that when people are talking about love, they talk about love from the end point of discussion rather than see it as an experience point of discussion. You understand? So yeah, I don't feel this generation are taught truly what love is, because love is selfless.
Okay, now if they are coming from a family that the father is not always providing, okay, I think that's where they start building this sense of entitlement, that okay, now since my father wasn't providing, okay, now any man I see will also not provide. So all I have to do is any way I know how to milk him dry, I will make him dry. Do you understand? Because at home, the father figure is not doing the role of the father figure. So when they come out, they want to take or they want to experience what a father figure is. I'm not supporting their Z body kind of vibe. Do you understand me? But the thing is, sometimes they lack love from the house.
I agree with you.
That's really brilliant.
I agree.
Totally. So it says that a man actually knows what he wants easily for in the next 50 or 5 minutes. How true is that?
So I feel a man who sees a woman on the spot and decides what he thinks the woman is, I believe would be a man who has experienced life so well that he knows what he wants on the spot when he sees you. So a young man of 20 or 19 cannot make that statement, but a man of 30 or 40 can. because time has made him realize that he can make that decision on the spot. And also, it is important to note, we must disassociate some core things in relationship. And I want to take my time to highlight these things. A side chick, a wife, or whatever the title we choose to give, we are all humans. A man could meet a woman who is very unique, and he knows that there is a love feeling there. But it is not going to lead anywhere because he has already made a choice before he sees her. But he could tell that this woman is a value-giving woman. There are men who have married people, and these people they married are not their choice. In fact, it could even be their choice. But these choices were made when they don't even know what is their choice.
Word.
So, when these men mature over time, they are battling between peace of mind and the reality they have created. So sometimes their peace of mind is outside their home. And when they chase what gives them peace of mind, they are blamed for it. See, I want us to have a discussion that is rooted in truth. Because the very society that tells you that polygamy is wrong is the very society that condones cheating. Cheating is not a crime. But the polygamy is. If you marry by law, when you choose another woman, you are crucified by it by law. If you don't marry by law, then it becomes what they celebrate. If you don't even marry at all, the law does not crucify you. So the law itself and the societal values are already conflicting itself. Now the question is, are laws made for the people or the people made for law? Which means if you look beyond the divide of what the law says, what the tradition says, what the church says, what the shrine says, what does the human heart say? And what the human heart says is, she gives me peace, she does not give me peace. Now the question is, humans we are susceptible to adapt. So a woman who gives you peace today can give you war tomorrow. And a woman who gives you war tomorrow can give you peace. So the only way you can broker that, back and forth is a sense of responsibility and a duty to yourself to say, okay, this is my wife. In bad and in good times, I am here. The question now is, are men being raised with this knowledge? Are women being raised with this knowledge in our today's world? Because today's world, love is more like a make me feel good arrangement.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
I feel good, I'm here. I don't feel good,
I'm out. Yes, that's true. That's
So
true.
sincerely, I want us to approach the discussion from a truthful, unbiased. We are not measuring this discussion on anybody's value. Societal value, religious values, law values, but what is truly the value? And the values are fact. The fact is, a man who is living his life without principles will fail. A woman who is living her life without principles will fail. But someone who is living a life based off on principles, you must also ensure that the principles are in tune with the reality of your situation. So I give you a good example. I know of a woman who followed the law by the letter, but she ended up alone. Because every single person that came to her wanted flexibility. Someone is chasing a thief and the thief ran into your house and you are somebody who doesn't lie. So they ask you with cutlass, where is the thief? If you say the truth, the thief will die. If you lie, the thief will leave. What would you do? In that situation, what you call bad would create a good result. And what you call good will create a bad result.
Yeah.
So you must always know that the intention is not to follow the law to the letter or to
know
follow
when
the
to
bad ways to the letter, but
compromise.
to always be in tune with what is right.
Yeah. You know when to compromise.
Yes, because I've seen men or women who kept to their husband just because they wanted to answer that I am a good woman. They died in that domestic violence. They died in that depression.
I don't want to be the first person in my family to get a divorce. I don't want to
And
do
that is just
this.
how
What will
I
my
want us to
family
see
say?
these
What
things,
would people say?
Yeah.
because the truth of the matter is that the likes of the Saida Boj lady is she has already zeroed her mind that men has come. Now the question is her father has come too? Is her brothers come too? If you take this conversation to her, the conversation will take another tune. Which means she's generalizing. Men are not scum. Because if she could find an exception in her dad, exception in her brother, then there are many exceptions in the society. That's where I'm landing.
Okay, that was a deep one to digest.
Yeah.
So my next question is this, will be to Miss Grace. So I'm in a relationship for a year, 2 years, and he's telling me he still wants to find out if I am the one. What do you think I do in that kind of situation?
My dear, if I were to be in your position or whosoever position, you know the part where they say when you see a crocodile, you don't forget to scream. The screaming comes with the run. And when I'm running, my legs are touching the back of my head. Because how will I stay with you a year, 2 years? No, I'm dedicating my time, I'm dedicating my energy, I'm dedicating my mental health, everything to you. And then you're telling me you're still thinking, guy, what do you think?
About life.
Which life? We will think come together. Now, the thing is, if you are not ready, you're not meant to like draw in that lady. There's this thing with guys, okay, not all, okay, but there are some guys, I've met some, that they know that they are not ready. Now, when you know you are not ready, don't waste the lady's time. Do you understand? Now, I've met some people that are like, I'm like, where is this heading to? I'm like, I told you. Well, yeah, where did you tell me? I told you that I'm not ready. I think a guy has told me that before. Like, I told you I'm not ready for a relationship. Oh, okay. You're not ready for a relationship, so what are we doing? What have we been doing? Do you understand? You're just wasting my time. Or you just want, oh, hello, babe, I miss you. I need you to come around. And then you see me, I'll carry myself. I'm going there. For what? So if he tells you that, you know that, okay, this is not what I want. And the thing with we ladies is that when we see the red flags, we tend to ignore. You see the person telling you, it might not be in words, it might be in actions, like, I am not ready to move this further. I am not ready to wife you. I'm not ready to commit to you. But you're like, oh, he's going to change. He's going to change. Change is constant. My dear, a leopard never changes its spots.
I want to tickle your deep thoughts a little.
Okay.
So this is, let me speak from a guy's point of view. First off is, men, most times, in the early stage of their life, meet the love of their life. At the later stage of their life, meet the woman they need. So let me explain it. I want you to take your time and think about it deeply. When a man is in his teen age, 18, 19, 20, 21 to 29, sometimes 25, 27, you are in your most unattractive stage. It means you are in the formative stage. You are still gathering money, you're gathering knowledge, you're gathering experience that makes you that dominant man who knows what you need to build out of your life. Now, when you are meeting people, you are playing a trial and error.
Why will you play trial and error with a lady's heart?
I would explain. A girl in her 16 to 22, 23 is playing a trial and error too with men. You must know that girls in their 16 to 19 are the most dangerous to ever date.
Why?
Facts, because they don't even know what they want. They tell you I love you today. The same girl that told you I love you in her 16 to 19 would see the love of her life in her 25. And if you held to those words and it actually formed the reality, I'm telling you guys, and it formed the reality, you will realize that there are men who have been destroyed with this simple story of they went to date a girl that is in her 16 till her 19 who hasn't even figured out what they want to do with their life. Same with women who fell for men in their 20s. These men are still discovering themselves. So this is what I would say, which is true. Life is a puzzle, especially when it comes to this relationship and marriage. If you don't find your right fit, even if he marries you and does not waste your time, you will find yourself kicking yourself out of that marriage. Find the right puzzle. So sometimes when the guy is delaying, it is indicative that you are not his right fit.
Now he should come out openly
So
and
let
tell
me
you.
explain it. If he is in his late 30s and he's speaking this language, I assure you someone else is, not you. And if he ever ends up choosing you, you are a spectator. Facts. Now, the thing is, choosing you shouldn't even be what you pressure.
Yeah.
It should be something that will
Comes
come naturally.
naturally, yes.
And it should be his energy pushing for it, right? Now, I also want you to know that there is another side of another category of men too who they don't value the act of marriage. I figured out recently. There are a new generation of men who see marriage as a dilemma, more or less. Because you're going into it, there is no atom of protection for you. So while he was single, the girl he's dating buys herself clothes, takes care of herself, does everything for herself. He gets married to her. She becomes his responsibility. They have children, him. Everything, him. So he's like, if I make this my love a baby mama, it's cheaper. It's true. Let's be honest. You know, the thing is that the man who goes to the market to buy Indomie and not buy the natural fruits would say, fruit is healthy, but Indomie is cheap. He can afford the healthy food,
Yes.
but he can afford the dangerous one that will kill him. So he will keep eating the one he can afford until he can afford something healthy. And that is what is happening in our society now. Marriage is difficult. Marriage is costly. Relationships are not mandated that it must end in marriage.
It is not.
I want you to understand the flow. If a guy comes to you and you are in your 30s, it's not his fault that you're in your 30s.
He's also in his 30s.
It's not your fault, too, that he is also in his 30s or 40s, whatever the age is. It is your duty to make it work, which is the best from your own end, while he gives the best from his own end, right?
Yeah.
Now, the thing is, if both of you have figured that the best of this relationship is marriage, and it is not a forced conversation, because the thing is, for guys who want to smash, they can say anything to get it.
That's true.
But if it is a true, because let's be honest, communications are more non-verbal than verbal. You girls know when a man loves you and when he doesn't.
Yeah, that's true. That's more like God's gift to us.
You get the point. So the thing is, you know who loves you. It could even mean that the person who genuinely loves you will not end up with you, but you know he loves you.
Yeah.
It's something you can't hide. Now, the sad thing is we are living in a generation that people who don't love each other are marrying each other because they need each other.
Yeah.
And the ones that love each other are not marrying each other because they are scared of what they can do because they know that the love they have between each other is like an electric spark that they are scared of what they will do with this person. It's true.
Yeah.
People, these men that you're talking about that they are in love with you, they go and marry Ada that they met in 3 months, but they will still return to you. And you are conflicted with why is he doing that? He is scared of what he would do when he's with, and it's not a good thing, I must say, because men, I'm saying it to you guys, be bold enough to marry who you love. Because what you don't know is that if you're men are big on respect.
Yeah.
So some men have, I'm sorry I'm spilling all these men beings here, but men are big on respect, and men want to marry who will respect them. And who will respect you rather than the one who needs you, and you need them. Not necessarily the one who loves you. Because the one who loves you would disobey. You make the rules. They will disobey the rules and move, and you will still forgive them. But the one who needs you will be so obedient to their needs. So I want us to, what I think this discussion should be more on is how can we unlearn and relearn the new way? Our own parents, were the parents that we are using as an example, are the ones who laid this foundation. These men dated women who they never married. And they will tell you, I lived my youthful this thing with this so sister. And then they married one girl, they went to one place and looked for a well-behaved girl. And the supposed well-behaved girl, quote and unquote, are people who have the qualities where they will say, sit down, they will sit. If you love your child, if you have a child and you love your child, when you love the child to the point of where the child knows that daddy loves me, you can't tell the child to sit down and the child to sit down. Because the child knows that they are loved. Love empowers you. When you are in love, the act of discipline is sitting on it's like there is a margin between I love you and I want to discipline you. When you discipline who you love, you always go back to feel sad that you did because you don't want them to be in pain. And that weakness is huge in a man's life. So why I'm saying what I'm saying is a lot of women who know that they are dating a man who loves them might end up not marrying them. It's fact. Go and note it down. You are in love with whoever right now and you genuinely love him. Please try to work on making sure that that love also needs you. And how to build it is to ensure that the love doesn't embolden you so much that you lose respect in the process. Let your head be down. And also learn to know that men are kings in their minds. They are truly kings, but they are more kings in their mind. And so the act of being feminine, being submissive, not in a derogatory slavery way, but in a more proactively stoop to conquer approach. Because at the end of the day, regardless of how much he loves you, he wants to know he can survive with you. And not the one that you will push him because he loves you, he knows you will push him. And you will hear one day that this Baba has killed his wife. And he could see the signs. So my point is, let us not look at he's wasting my time and look at why is the time wasted. Because we must always know that in every fault, there is always a give and take. What are you giving? What is he giving? What are you taking? What is he taking? If you truly don't want to be your time to be wasted, give yourself time yourself 6 months, go. Don't allow the thing to fester into something.
So, I have other questions. What do you have to say to all these young girls or young, don't let me make it just about gender-based, it's in general, that actually take most of their money or whatever they get, or whether from their fathers or their boyfriends, and then they use it into they make it a wasteful use of it, maybe by buying the trending bags, which is maybe probably Gucci, and instead of actually eating home or making healthy meals, they decide to get food outside. Do you think that is actually the trend, or how we should keep going rather than?
Yeah, I agree with you. I feel what you do in your youth will affect your old age. So the money you're supposed to use to buy yourself good clothes, excessive clothes anyway, because good clothes is good, but to excessively dress and excessively waste resources at a young age, it's a very terrible thing that this generation is doing, because you act as if at your old age you will still be very efficient, whereas it's not so. When you turn 60, that's when you realize that you would just fizzle out of the labor market. Nobody wants to really employ you at your 60 if you don't have any extra value that you bring to the table. So at that point, those resources you have wasted trying to impress who is not even watching you, what happens to your life at that then? So I feel life should be flamboyant at the later age of life and very prudent in the beginning, because in the beginning you have all the strengths. Why give your clothes to the dry cleaner? Why do all those excessive big boyism or big girlism when at old age you could still do that? Imagine me at old age driving a G-Wagon. That's the kind of story I want to tell about myself than, this whole wastefulness at a young age.
So what do you think they should actually spend this money on? How do you think they should spend the money?
The thing is, once you don't work for money, when you get it, you lavish it. But if you're wise and you know what you want, you'll invest. Now, your investment might not be in the big things or in the stock market or all those things. But there is something we call the workmanship. You can learn something. You can go to a school of either catering or designing. It's an investment. Because no matter how many days that are bad, you know that you won't go hungry. Because you have something that you can boast of, that you can use to make money. Now, when people are complaining, you are actually making money because you've had something or you have something. Because by the time it gets to the 60s and our parents get tired of working, I can just open a shop for myself and I start doing all those things. I might not have the strength to do all those things, but I can train other people. Now, me training you, you pay me. It's my money, cool cash, very easy. So your investment might not necessarily be the stock and all this and all that, but little things that you learn is actually an investment.
So, in all, you're saying that we should all live, we should not live based on script or trying to live by other people's standard or trying to reach their standard. So, we are to create our own standard by ourselves, a heartfelt one. Is that what this whole point is all about?
The whole topic, how not to be a Saida Boj, is more or less all these opinion givers who are not even first-hand users of their opinions. It should be a trend that we should frown at, because at the end of the day, people just dump ideas on you, and this, to give an opinion is so easy. To live by those opinions is where the real deal is. So we should be listening more to people who we have seen and have tested that what they are telling us is what they live by. A girl like Saida Boj, for instance, I'm very sure that she's just chasing, this, it has become a thing now. Trash talking is a thing on social media. So these people are just trash talking so that they can just, for the clouds, then bless the CEOs and the rest. So I feel the society has to know about this trend and try to protect themselves against it, because there is no advertorials to these people's opinions. They just dump it, and there is no advertorial or disclaimer saying, please, these people are just doing it for cloud chasing reasons or for publicity stunt. There is nothing there. So some people will suck up those things as their reality, and that is why we are saying, please don't be a Saida Boj. Try to do a fact check and ensure that you are copying what would save you in the future.
Exactly the point. Please do not be a Saida Boj. We've come to the end of our session, right?
Yeah.
See you guys.
Please don't forget to like, subscribe,
and drop a comment on our comment section below. Thank you. Have a great day.